Hey guys, it's Rick4 here, Rick of Short. So, this is another Bleach Chapter review for Chapter 535 entitled Anything But the Rain OP8. So, this is actually coming out a day late because it actually came out a day earlier on Tuesday and I wasn't actually available on that day because I was under the impression that it would come out on Wednesday. This is my time, by the way, which is Australian Eastern Standard Time. So, it came out yesterday afternoon, so I'm sorry for it being a bit late, but you know, you're getting it anyway, so I hope you guys enjoy. So it starts off with Masaki sort of having a bit of a soul issue, I guess, sort of falling into a bit of an abyss, which must be her soul because you know, she's getting taken over by that hollow. And then Ryuken and Ishin are talking to Urahara Kisuke, and he explains who he is and how he was exiled or expelled from Soul Society, and he pretty much explains to them what is happening. So the whole holification process, it's just there's a lot of text. I'm not gonna bother going through all of it, but pretty much he explains the process, and for the past 100 years or so, I believe he explains how the soul sort of loses itself, which is called soul suicide. So he was trying to figure out how to stop this soul suicide, and he was able to counteract the whole holification process, but only stop the soul suicide by using the light arrows from a Quincy and the souls of a human to create a vaccine that he can inject into those souls to stop that soul suicide. So there's it's a bit more complicated, but I'm sort of giving like a brief overview. That's pretty much the gist of it, and in order to do that, he needed someone, a relatively powerful person, sort of to sort of undergo that for her and to stay with her, to protect her, and have to go in what I believe he's explaining is a gigai, or a sort of suit, but it limits the Ryatsu and pretty much stops all the powers, and there's a chance that whoever goes in it won't be able to get their powers again. And he says that Ishin must do it, but Ryuken is saying how he wouldn't be able to, because that means he would have to give up being a Shinigami, which means not being a captain anymore and just leaving Soul Society. What he does though is he actually agrees to it and says, it's because of me that this is happening, I will do it. So he undergoes that process, and it goes back to Masaki, who's still in that soul sort of area, and then Ishin appears to save her, and that's the end of the chapter. So it wasn't too much of a chapter. I mean, it did have some pretty juicy details. I mean, it did show a bit more about how the holification process works, which was relatively interesting. But it also shows how Ishin came to not be a captain anymore, because from the pieces we had before, it was just Ishin was a captain, and then somehow he became human, in quotation marks, don't exactly quote me on that, but it shows that's because he actually gave it up so he could save Masaki, and which I think is really nice of him. I mean, who else would do that? I might, but you know, that either way. It also sort of explains a bit more on the holification process. I don't have too much of a thought on this one. It's just more sort of like an information type chapter, so not too much about it. So that's pretty much going to be my chapter review for today. So I hope you this week. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, favorite, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for chapter 536. Thanks guys, I love you guys.